Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Relatively Gaming Podcast. My name is Turn-Based TJ, aka TJ, and I'm joined by my splendiferous host, Enigma 9011, aka Brett. How you doing, Brett?
I'm good. It's going to be a wrestling filled weekend. Well, actually, it was a wrestling filled weekend for when this drops. It's WrestleMania. I'm excited. Unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, I am doing WrestleMania all in one day, so it's going to be 8 hours of wrestling. God pray for me. But no, all in all, I am doing very well. How are you doing?
Well, later today, we're recording on the 18th, just for the insider knowledge, and yeah, it's the first day of the NHL playoffs,
Oh,
and
shit.
yeah, the Hurricanes are playing the Ottawa Senators today at 3 p.m., so I'm very
Ooh.
excited.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. Damn. Yeah, I guess this is that time of year. That makes sense. Just always sneaks up on me when I'm out of the loop. It's like, oh yeah, that is now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and even though the little hockey talk, even though the Hurricanes are they finished first in the East,
Oh, nice.
only behind the Avalanche in the overall score totals. Um, but even though that they got the wild card of the Ottawa Senators, who might be the spoilers because
Oh.
they play us very well, and it's statistically they have some stats that might mess the Hurricanes up. So it's like, oh, I wanted to play any other team but the Ottawa Senators, but
Sure.
here we go.
Well, okay. You could. I mean, cup half full. You get past this, maybe it's smooth sailing from that point.
Yeah, true. Maybe it's good to go because there's no Florida Panthers this year. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're talking about all things relatively gaming here. A little bit of hockey talk right now, a little bit of wrestling talk maybe, who knows? But we mostly talk about video games. We talk about the news. We talk about what we've been playing. We have a fun little mystery section, and then we talk about a game that we're excited about to play in the future, whether it's a backlog game or a game that hasn't been released yet. So we'll just jump right into the news. Brett, what do you have for us with the news?
Sure. Would you like the big stuff first, or you want the small stuff first?
Oh, give me the big stuff.
The big stuff. All right, cool. Let's talk government because that's always fun. Not really.
Yay.
This one actually kind of cool. Shout out to listener of the show, Blue Mudhorn, former guest Charlie, who guested a while back. He was the one who tipped me on this news story, so shout out to him. This is coming from Rock Paper Shotgun. Yes, that is the site's name, and they do great work.
They do great work.
Stop Killing Games throw weight behind California bill that would force companies to either keep games working independently after server shutdowns or issue refunds. The movement also say their UK efforts are far from dead in the water. This is coming from Mark Warren over there at Rock Paper Shotgun. Stop Killing Games, the campaign group seeking to prevent online games from being rendered unplayable when publishers shut down their servers, have moved to support a Californian bill that in its current form would require studios to either update games with impending server shutterings to, I think that's supposed to be so they keep working independently afterwards to provide full refunds. The movement also claimed their UK efforts are, quote, far from dead in the water, noting they were called in to advise the Department for Culture, Media, and Sport last week. The Californian legislation cited Stop Killing Games' latest progress update on Reddit, oh boy, is dubbed the Protect Our Games Act and was initially put forward by Chris Ward, a member of California State Assembly, in February this year. Stop Killing Games say they had a hand in advising on the drafting of it. It requires company that sells server-connected video games to notify customers before ending support and to provide clear information about how the games will function once it reaches end of life. Reads an overview of the Act's aims on Ward's website. The bill, quote, the bill also prohibits companies from selling the game within 2 months of its end of life date and requires them to either replace the game or provide a plan allowing users to continue running it after support ends, end quote. So yeah, I figured I would bring this up. I mean, far out, zoomed out, it seems like a great thing and a great idea. I appreciate, obviously, the video game preservation side of it because, I mean, it's always a bummer when you're thinking like, oh, that game, so-and-so, and then you're like, okay, either got to drop however much money on a machine that's old, that I hope still works, and find said cartridge, or it just doesn't exist. And that's always a bummer, and I mean, memories don't live in the past. I kind of get that, but why not try and preserve this artwork the best we can? Where I get a little hesitant is in the refund side of things, and I know I'm gonna be like devil's advocate, devil on the shoulder type thing of like, what, you're going against me spending money, blah, like, but also like, well, how would that work? Okay, this game made 10 million off of sales. I don't know, big numbers, whatever, and then it dies off in 10 years. Let's be healthy there. Like that money went somewhere in that 10 years. Where are you getting said funds? And then, like, does that mean people aren't getting paid? I don't know. Like, to me, and this is me just being pea-brained, like, how would that work type thing? I appreciate, like, the letting people know far out in advance, like, servers are going to be shut down type of thing. I think that's good, clear communication. Instead of just boom, drop, gone, like we've seen with Concord, like we saw with High Guard. High Guard, we had a little notice, but still not a lot of time. And some other ones we've talked recently. Like, I appreciate that. And then I think it's nice to just, like, have it available to people. Like, there's, I think it's City of Heroes, is a game that was, like, fan-made servers were made afterwards to kind of keep it going.
Right.
So I think, like, allowing that would be nice. Just like, okay, unfortunately, the game's dead on our end. We won't be pushing updates, but here's the resources for the dedicated folks who want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the money part, yeah, the logistics of doing the money doesn't make a lot of sense, especially if a game's been out for like 10 years and
Sure.
it's like, okay, well, that money has gone to pay people's houses and salaries, and what are you gonna do? Liquidate people's assets from the gaming company to reimburse all the players? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I feel like it's more or less just like a deterrent,
Mm.
and it's kind of like a forcing hand to be like, you have to keep the game alive, basically. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do this weird monetary thing that I don't think anybody's gonna be prepared for. So I think it really is like, no, you're gonna have to keep a server open or allow fans to do so, which is great. I think that is a great incentive to make sure to ensure the companies actually follow the law.
Mm. So yeah, it still seems like it's early stages. Obviously, getting a little traction. I feel like I heard about this a while back, but this was the first time I've heard an update. So, knowing the government, it will take a little while to get things done. And no offense, there's bigger issues we should probably be focusing on. But it's
No,
good.
this is the most pressing issue in America right now for the government to tackle.
Good to know there's people out there fighting the good fight. So just wanted to bring that up. All right, from video games, let's move on to the movies, which might be a shared story. This comes from IGN. It comes from IGN and Jim Vejvoda. I'm so sorry, Jim. Bloodborne, R-rated animated movie in development with Jacksepticeye producing. Sony Pictures made the announcement at CinemaCon 2026. The article proceeds. Sony Pictures announced at CinemaCon on Monday that they are making an R-rated animated feature film based on the video game Bloodborne. While no details on the movie's plot were revealed, it is expected that it will follow a hunter battling beasts in the city of Yharnam. While there were no announcements on the film's director, screenwriter, voice cast, or release date. The Bloodborne movie is produced by PlayStation Productions lyrical animation and YouTuber and gamer Sean McLaughlin, aka Jacksepticeye. Lyrical Media is co-financing the Bloodborne movie with Sony Pictures. The Bloodborne game was developed by From Software and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Selfish plug for IGN here. Our Bloodborne review, IGN awarded the action game a 9.1 score. Okay. Let's see.
Should have been a 9.9, but it's okay.
Yep. Recently, we learned about a Bloodborne remake, reportedly pitched by Bluepoint, and it was accepted by Sony, but From Software turned it down. Okay, that's it for the article. So we don't know much about this, but people are clamoring. People are excited. So, I mean, cool news. I think I talked about it a few weeks ago. I'm kind of new on the Jacksepticeye radar with his crossover with Smosh stuff. Seems like a cool dude. I'm surprised he's involved. I don't know his history of Bloodborne, but apparently he's deep in the weeds. So
yeah, no, I've actually watched Jacksepticeye's Bloodborne playthrough. He's very good at the game. He's very knowledgeable. He's played through it multiple times.
Oh, okay, good.
Also, I just love Jacksepticeye. He's a very he seems like a very humble person. He always seems to be doing the right thing. To be on the internet for this long and this large, I feel like you have to be a genuine person. Otherwise, usually you get exposed at some point along the line.
Sure.
And Jacksepticeye has always been upstanding and, like I said, very humble, especially for where he's at, which is great. He is just producing though. So as far as production goes in I don't know how it works on the animated side, but I know in movies and stuff, that's usually just the money bag, the purse.
Sure.
Sometimes the producer will have a say and be like, I really want the movie to feel like this or have this sometimes, and they can, throw their weight around and be like, well, I've got the money, so you got to make sure that's in the movie. But most of the times the producers, they just fund it and let the creatives take over. So I don't know how much creative input Jacksepticeye is going to actually have in the project.
Hmm.
I think at this point it's just hiring the best people and allowing them to do the work. But it is so exciting that he's involved in any capacity, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds great. The animated route's going to be interesting too. I mean, first thing that comes to mind for at least Sony Animation on my brain or in my brain was the Spider-Verse stuff, which those
Mm,
movies have been fantastic. And I know they've
yeah.
taken a little while to produce. I think we finally got some recent news about the final of the trilogy. Thank God. Um, so I'm
Thank
intrigued
God.
to see what's going to happen there. And it might be not easier, but it might be a more streamlined process because in comparison to Spider-Verse, Spider-Verse obviously is going with a bunch of different animation and art styles. This will be, I would think, one. So
Yeah.
hopefully that'll help the production side of things.
Also, just as an aside, I got very excited when I saw this news, and I was like, "Can I even play Bloodborne if I had a PS5 digital version?" And I just want to say it's still on the PlayStation Store, so you can actually
Yeah.
still buy it and it's only $20, which
Yep.
is just an insane steal. So,
Yeah.
also, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, I'm pretty sure it's free.
Yeah, I think so.
So, play Bloodborne if you have a PS5, and I might be getting a PS5 now 'cause I can play Bloodborne and NHL and go see Yote. Okay,
You could
yeah,
also get a PS4 and do two of the three, but yeah, I get you.
yeah. Absolutely. No, I need the newest Matthew Kachuk 3D model in my game.
Well, they didn't get anything up-resed, and at least in my knowledge of the like a PlayStation 5 version. So you're still playing the PS4 version of Bloodborne.
That's a good
But
point,
yeah,
actually. Yeah, but yeah, just wanted to throw that out there that if you want to play Bloodborne, it is easily accessible if you have a
absolutely.
PlayStation 5.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to my last, at least in terms of big stories. This one is a bit of a bummer as it hits close to home to me. Iron Galaxy Studio. This is coming from Wario64 and Blue Sky, who Blue Sky, I don't know, took a screenshot from Twitter from Iron Galaxy Studios. I'm just going to read directly from their post. Today, Iron Galaxy Studios regrets to announce that we are reducing our company size. A number of teammates and friends are losing their jobs as we adjust to a new company structure. We are terribly sorry to lose them as we take steps to adapt to the climate of the video game industry. It's time for us to evolve again. Since we first got started, we've taken on many different forms as a company. Throughout these different phases, we've changed our focus, our mission, and our size. We worked with the best creators of interactive entertainment and made some games of our own. Along the way, we've seen the industry that we serve expand and contract in surprising ways. Ever since 2020, when everything was when everything about making video games started to change, people have been waiting for business to quote unquote get back to normal. These are the conversations we've had with colleagues and partners on our travels to the places where game creators gather. This year, we're adopting a new posture to accept these current market conditions as permanent. Players consume games in new ways. Publishers have different criteria for investing in development of games. This new normal has impacted all of our partners. As Iron Galaxy adapts, we must make painful decisions about what we can be as a company. It's impossible for us to sustain the team size we've carried this past year, even after our downsizing from last year. We hate losing people. One of our core values is providing a wonderful experience for the talented folks who work with us. The best we could do for them today is to help them start writing the next chapter of their career. They are all welcome to introductions and referrals from us. If you need good people, please be on the lookout for them. Thank you, Iron Galaxy Studios. So yeah, a bit of a bummer. It's another hit in the machine of layoffs and stuff like that. Iron Galaxy, I have a strong connection with due to Killer Instinct, and my
Yeah.
love for what they did with that game when they were working on it. And ever since, yeah, it's just been like keeping an eye on them and kind of rooting for them because they make good shit. And like this article says, and from what I've heard from other creators, it seems like they're good people as well. So just a bit of a bummer seeing this. This one hit closer to home than others just because of my direct fandom of them. But yeah, just wanted to give them a shout and wish the best of luck to the people who did get affected by these layoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. It just seems to be happening more and more in the gaming industry, and it's so I feel like it's so difficult to make video games to begin with, and then the job market is so volatile. It's like, is this even sustainable as a career for a lot of people? Because it's just so volatile. You just never know when you're gonna get laid off and things, and that's just really unfortunate.
Right. And like that article or that post mentioned, like the 2020, obviously everybody's home with the pandemic and stuff like that. Like video games, boom, boom, boom. Everybody's home, everybody's playing. And now that we're farther away from that than we are closer to it, it's just like, oh yeah, we're back to normal, as they said, or wherever it is. So it's a lot of adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so not to make light of that news, but now moving on to more positive news. The Street Fighter movie had its trailer released, and still looking goofy, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite intrigued. A little synopsis, kind of like showing like the highs of the Street Fighter tournament, mainly with Ken Masters, and then we are kind of on a redemption story arc. He gets beat, he's going through a hard time, but it seems like a lot of the other characters, like Ryu, have taken a different path since the tournament, and is kind of Chun-Li Avenger moment, Nick Fury, like getting everybody back together for the tournament. I don't know. But like I said, there's some goofy stuff that we do see in there. Obviously, Ken with his struggles is kind of going through the waves of it. I don't even remember the right phrase. Going through it. Ryu dealing with him and trying to get him back on track. And then seeing different interactions with like side characters. Like shout out to Cody Rhodes, we got to see more of Guile, and Guile at the end of the trailer is just like, yeah man, I saw Ryu like fucking conjure a fireball. Like I don't know what's going on. So I don't know if they're making Guile like a goof, but at least that line was comical.
Yeah.
Big takeaways from it: we did get a cleaner look at our tribal chief Roman Reigns as Akuma, looking dope. And then we also got our first full look at Blanca and Jason Momoa playing him at the very, very end. Movie releases October 16th this year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it looks kind of hokey and cheesy and funny in some ways, but that'll be part of its charm, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it like knows it's kind of a B movie script level and they kind of play into it. I've only seen clips of the trailer on TikTok because that's how I consume media now, and that's healthy. How did Blanca look at the end? How did Jason Momoa look?
I thought it looked pretty good. He kind of like just emerges from some rubble and just rah, it's a quick shot, but you get a full body shot of him in motion instead of the one still that we had. I thought it looked fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. On the other side of the fence, I believe Mortal Kombat 2 did also get another trailer, or that was last week. I don't remember. So we got a lot of good fighting game movies coming out. Yeah, I didn't write it out. But I think Mortal Kombat is out this summer. So we'll have a little bit of a gap in between each of them.
Yeah.
All right, bit of a rumor, or more of a leak. Insomniac Spider-Man 3 is confirmed to be, seemingly confirmed to be in development as the voice.
Woo.
No, it wasn't Yuri. I think it was the body guy, whoever they like do the mocap with. Took a photo from the studio. So people are like, so I mean, not a big surprise. We knew it was going to be in development at some point, so it seems like they just took the little break with Wolverine, if that wasn't even a separate team, and then Spider-Man 3 will probably be the next title coming from them. So people are excited. I'm one of them. We'll have to see what's next. It seems like at least where we left off. Okay, legit, because I'm going to talk fast. Skip if you haven't beat Spider-Man 2, because I'm going to talk about the end. 30 seconds, go. Seems like we're going to go Doc Ock and Green Goblin Norman as the two villains, and we'll get some tertiary stuff from there. And spoilers. Okay. So intrigued to
those
see.
would be cool. So I would love to see. I mean, classic. Those are probably his two best villains in my opinion. Maybe outside of Venom. But.
Yeah. So if they're following their pattern of how they did 2 villains per, along with the side stuff, it seems like that's what's going to happen there. So yeah, cool to see. We'll have to see how Miles handles a lot of this, and then obviously Peter's reintroduction. just have some more fun swinging around New York. So cool to see that is in development.
I'm actually a little bummed because in my head, I built up that Insomnia Studios was going to be making the new Avengers with the Wolverine game. They're like Spider-Man and then Wolverine, and then we're going to make a new Thor game and then make Captain America game, and then have the new Avengers together, and that would be really cool. But that is not what is happening. They're making Spider-Man 3. So I don't
Yeah.
know why I set myself up for disappointment like that in my mind. But, Spider-Man 3 is I got to beat Spider-Man 2, I think is the thing. I got to play that. That would probably increase my hype for Spider-Man 3, I
Oh, for
imagine.
sure. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is great. Yeah, it's tough because obviously, like, they've only gone into Spider-Man now. They're going into Wolverine. They are built in like established universes. I'm sure you remember from Spider-Man 1, you can go to Avengers Tower, you can go to Doctor Strange's Sanctum, you can like pass a bunch of landmarks and
Yeah.
find Easter eggs of a bunch of heroes. So yeah, I don't know what the future is for like the library of characters they're going to jump into, because you do have the Rise of Hydra game that I think is still being made. That's always a weird one because you think
Yeah,
it's
it's a weird
alive.
game.
And then is there anything else in development? I don't think so. Outside of Rivals, obviously, I'm trying to think of single player narratives. I can't think of it. Oh, there was the Blade game on Xbox or from
Yeah,
Xbox
Blade's coming
Studios.
out. Yeah,
Is that still in works? Okay, good.
that's still in development. Yeah,
Arcane?
I think it's actually says 2027 for
Okay.
release date, so it won't be for another year. But yeah,
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if they're just going to keep divvying up those characters, or Insomniac just got like, okay, we got Spider-Man and now we have at least Wolverine. Maybe they'll go the X-Men route. We'll see. But time will tell. Hopefully Insomniac's feeling good about it too. Like, I know other podcasts, I think Trophy Room brought this up. Like, Insomniac making their own IP wouldn't be a bad thing either. I don't want them. It's a big thing. You don't want them to be shoehorned. Like, you're the Marvel studio now. If they feel motivated and like good doing these things, cool, all for it. But I don't want it to feel like they're stuck either, that they can't
yeah,
explore their own ideas. So we'll have to see.
yeah. Like I've heard the Mortal Kombat team kind of sick of making Mortal Kombat games, and they want to
Mm,
break out of it. I've heard that rumor before from other developers and stuff. So I hope that's not the case in Insomnia, because man, their superhero games are so good.
yeah.
So I hope they keep making them. This is the same studio that did what was the superhero game they did beforehand? That was original IP.
Infamous.
Infamous, right? They did Infamous.
Mm.
I think I played Second Son on the PS4. That was a great game. Infamous Second Son. So they're just good at superhero games, whether it's their own IP or it's Marvel's IP. But is that what it was called?
I know the title's Infamous. I'm just double. No, that was Sucker Punch. Yeah, damn it. I was like 50-50 on that. Hold on. Insomniac. Was that just Ratchet and Clank? Was that their shit?
Oh no, so they didn't do Infamous Second Son. Okay.
No, Infamous was all Sucker Punch, which was Ghost of Yotei Studio. My bad,
Oh,
everybody. This shows my PlayStation knowledge. Okay, so yeah, Insomniac was Ratchet and Clank. So Rift Apart was
gotcha.
their last IP game. Oh god, they got a whole timeline and I gotta fucking toggle one at a time. God damn it. Yeah, so before the Spider-Man series, I mean, Rift Apart was in between. We had Sunset Overdrive. That was a big one that was popular.
Oh, they did Sunset
They
Overdrive.
did Sunset Overdrive, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a great groundwork for an open world game.
Yeah. Song of the Deep's on here. Edge of Nowhere. Resistance was PS3 era. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clanks.
Resistance is great.
Yeah. So, the most close common denominator, that's the word. Yeah, Sunset Overdrive was the big hero type thing before Spider-Man.
Okay, Sunset Overdrive, still fantastic game.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they'll want to do their own original IP like Sunset Overdrive again, or like Sunset Overdrive 2. Because I don't know if you've played Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, yeah.
It's very creative. It's
Mm-hmm.
a very bright and vibrant world, and it has a really cool story with energy drinks and stuff. Like it's just a really creative world. So, maybe they want to stretch their legs like that again.
Yeah.
But I hope that they're like, no, Wolverine's cool. Let's pop them claws.
Sure.
I hope that's what they're excited about, because that's what I'm excited about, honestly. I'm just selfishly as a Marvel fan.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And I got one more piece of news. TJ, this one's for you. There's more Borderlands content coming out. Did you know that?
I I know there's a second DLC coming out. Yeah.
Nope, there's even more, sir.
Oh, a
WWE
third DLC?
2K26 is trying to get you into the WWE universe because Borderlands content is out now. Ringside Pass 2 dropped this past Wednesday, and they have 3 crossover skins that you can unlock via the premium pass of Ringside Pass Season 2, including CM Punk as a bandit, Becky Lynch as Lilith, and Rhea Ripley as the Ripper Queen. Yeah, you can unlock these special skins, and they got different entrances. They all look gorgeous. They all look beautiful. Is it what we wanted? No.
Yes.
To each their own.
Now I kind of want to play as Rhea Ripley and have the Ripper Queen
There
coming
you
because the Ripper Queen is thick in Borderlands 4. I love the Ripper Queen. So.
Yeah. So that's all I got. That's all I got for news this week, TJ. What do you got?
I got a lot of different news. Also, we'll talk about Borderlands 4 a little bit later. It's a little bit of a spoiler. Yeah, this is a news piece that was close to me as being a PC gamer currently right now. Epic Games launches Epic Games Store in 2018 to challenge the dominance of Valve's Steam platform in the PC gaming space. Known for its promotions and free games, the storefront has attracted a large gamer base that quickly adopted the platform. However, 2 former Epic Game employees claim that the Epic Games Store saw only an initial spike in active users during the free game promotions, with gamers eventually returning to Steam. Many gamers find switching between multiple storefronts to be a cumbersome experience. While free game deals are an excellent way to attract customers initially, the Epic Games Store needs to make further improvements to retain those gamers, the employees say. So that makes sense. That's literally how I use the Epic Games Store. I log in for the free games and then I dip out and I go back to Steam. So yeah, maybe they do need a way to retain gamers more, but it's just interesting to hear from employees that is actually that's literally what's happening on a mass scale. It's not just a me thing. That's just like a we thing. That's
Sure.
just as PC gamers, we go to the Epic Games Store, we get a free game and then we dip. And they've had some great free games on there. I mean, I've gotten some incredible games on there for free. I got Sifu on there one time. I mean, Sifu's incredible. So, I mean, I could go on and list all the games, but yeah, it's just unfortunate that people don't stick around in the Epic Games Store. We'll have to see what they can do to keep gamers there. Because I wouldn't mind a competing storefront, you know what I mean, to Steam. Competition's always good at like raising quality of things, but I don't know. Do you use the Epic Games Store at all, or is it just a Fortnite mobile?
Yeah, no, I don't. I feel like I'm part of the we problem here, where I would be like, if I were, because I don't, if I played PC gaming more and I did go to these other storefronts, yeah, it would be like, oh, okay, there's this deal here, or there's this free game, like you said here, swap, swap, swap. Or I would just be like, nah, that seems too annoying. Like you said, Fortnite, that's the only reason I have an Epic ID is because of Fortnite, because they force it on you. I guess Fall Guys
Yeah.
too, when they acquired that. Thank God for that, or not thank God for that. That transition was awful. Like even seeing like from Humble or indie games like Humble, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but my dumb ass is like, oh, it's a lot of work, even though it's not, and I'm just lazy and whatever. It's like, oh boy, come on, man. So I don't know what it is. We're just all stuck in our way. But yes,
Yeah.
competition is good. I don't know what these platforms can do in terms of winning people over. I don't know if it's just like goes back to the exclusive type argument with like the console space, or what it is. I mean, it's always hard for anything that's quote unquote new to kind of find its niche and find its audience. We've seen that even consoles as well. The Ouya and the Steam machine. No, the Steam. There was some other thing that failed recently.
Yeah,
The
they called him Steam something. Yeah.
or was it a Google thing? There was some other that just like closed down and people got refunds recently. I don't think that was the Ouya. Damn it. Trying to remember. My buddy Nolan had one. I'm blanking hard. I don't know. But yeah. Hopefully they can find their footing, especially with Epic struggling right now. That wouldn't be a bad thing to get some traction going there.
Yeah, I just feel like for me personally, Steam feels like home. Like when I open the Steam page on my PC, I'm like, I'm home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got all my games and they're all categorized and everything like that. I've got 232 games, it looks like. So that's like, I don't want to lose that at all. And I feel like I own those, even though, again, it's technically licensed to me and I don't really own it. But yeah, I don't know what to do, what Epic Games can do to get rid of that feeling for people where on my PC, Steam opens up and I'm like, okay, we're good. I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to go right here and play games.
Yeah. Google Stadia or Stadia was what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah,
Shut down
yeah.
January 2023. Wow, 3 years already. R.I.P. King.
This next news story might be exciting to you as a new mother of a Switch 2.
Oh, I was like, whoa, hold up. What news are we breaking here?
Ahead of its April 28th launch, Diablo 4: Lord of Hatred has been rated by the Indonesia Game Rating System, the same ratings board behind the recent 007 First Light ending leaking. The rating lists the expansion for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo Switch 2. Despite no port being announced at this point in time, this offers some hope to fans who have been waiting for the action RPG to finally make its way to the Nintendo platform, that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Um, I would love Diablo 4 on a portable system. I guess you could do it on the Steam Deck now because it is on Steam and not just Battle.net. Even though I have it on Battle.net, and it annoys me because we were just talking about how Steam feels like home, and now I just have one game and its own separate thing. It's not an issue. Don't worry, I'm not mad about it. Um, but it would be cool to play it portably on a Nintendo system. My only thing is Diablo 4 does require a constant online connection
Hmm.
because it is like MMO like where players drop in and out of your world. So I don't know how that would go, and also you're going to need a Nintendo Switch Online uh, membership too. So I
Hmm.
guess just to play the game, even in single player, because again, even in single player, you might go up to an event and other players will be there. It's technically multiplayer, so I guess that's how they'll get around it. Is you have to just have the Nintendo Switch Online account. And I guess if you have a Nintendo
Sure.
Switch Online account, you're going to be online. You're going to have the internet, but that does suck if you're like on a plane
Yep.
or going somewhere. You can't play Diablo 4 because you wouldn't be able to connect the internet unless you like hotspot it to your phone or something.
Hmm.
Which is really lame because on the original Switch, playing Diablo 3 out and about, you know, on a plane or on a bus or something or at work or whatever, it's like very, very fun, very doable,
Hmm.
very good experience. So a little unfortunate that Diablo 4 won't do that. Does that interest you at all? Do you want to play Diablo 4 at all?
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I got a bad taste in my mouth with Diablo 3. It was a fine game. I had an okay time with it. I was playing with two people who loved it and were trying to
Uh-huh.
introduce me to it, and I just felt like I was dragged through the entire game. Like I couldn't tell you anything about that story. I remember I asked a lot of questions like, "What's this old man doing?" Blah 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 blah. And we beat it all, but I was just like, "Yeah, kind of."
Because I actually really like the story of Diablo 3. I think it's really cool with all the
Mm,
cutscenes and stuff. But yeah, if you're rushing through it, that's kind of a bummer.
yeah.
Especially the DLC story is really cool.
Mm,
Matthias or whatever his name is, the Death Angel.
okay.
Very cool.
Mm,
Very cool. Um, but yeah, Diablo 4. I'm a casual ARPG fan myself. Like my favorite ARPG of all time is Ultimate Alliance. So
hey
not
yo.
really the deepest ARPG fan,
What?
but so I experience these games casually, so I don't really get into like the super end game grind and stuff because I don't understand it
Hmm.
and I can't figure it out. So I usually just stick to how far I can go. The most fun in those games anyway is creating a new character. And the first like I have the most fun like from level 1 to 25 when you don't necessarily have to have the most optimized build and you can just fuck around and do whatever skills you want.
Hmm.
And then after level 25, you're like, okay, I've got to actually like make my build, and you got to look up a guide usually or something like that to get through. So
Mm,
that's not as fun to
nope.
me. Um, this next piece of news is very selfish. This is a me piece of news. I just wanted to read it out. It's a little longer, so bear with me here. For the classic titles, fans of classic titles from the Warhammer universe now have the chance to revisit them thanks to a limited time promotional event on Steam. The official Warhammer YouTube channel has released an announcement trailer showcasing a total of 19 games from the Warhammer 40k series and Warhammer Fantasy franchise, 12 of which are returning to Steam and 7 of which have never been available there before. The arrival of these games also comes with discounts of up to 90% for players who purchase them by April 20th, which I believe is the date of this podcast. So
Hmm.
run, check it out. The classic Warhammer games have also been updated to ensure they run just as well on modern PCs as they did on older systems when they originally released. I'm not going to read. I have a list of all the games.
Mm,
I'm not going to read all of them because that would take a minute. But some of the highlights are the original Space Hulk Ascension, Talisman, The Horus Heresy, Chainsaw Warrior, Lords of Night, and the games debuting on Steam, really good. Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate, and the one I'm most excited about, the one that I did purchase. I purchased only one, so you're welcome. I didn't go overboard. And that one game is Warhammer 40K Fire Warrior, which is a game where you actually, it's a first-person shooter where you are a Tau. Not a lot of games from actually no games other than this one from the Tau's perspective. The Tau usually get left out of even like the real-time strategy games that they have, like Dawn of War and stuff. Usually they don't include the Tau. So very cool that it's a game, a first-person shooter Tau game. I've never played it before. I'm excited to give it a try. But yeah, if you're a Warhammer fan, definitely check out that deal while you can. It was pretty cool, and like I said, they were 90% off. Like a lot of these games are like $5.
nice.
Pretty incredible. So
Yeah.
great steal. Speaking of a great steal, maybe potentially, Crimson Desert has sold more than 5 million copies in the first month.
Damn.
Is showing no signs of slowing down. For a moment, it was uncertain how the game would fare thanks to a long, delayed field release and some minor controversies arising right before launch. Now, the big question surrounding Crimson Desert is not whether it will be a hit, but how long it can keep up its remarkable hot streak. So, that's really good to see that it got 5 million copies. I didn't think it was going to do that well, honestly. I thought maybe potentially it could have been a flop, especially because reviews are either this game is horrible or this game is incredible. There was no in between. I saw nobody being like, this game's just okay. People either glazed it or they really hated it. So, yeah, I will say I did watch more Co-Carnage footage of him playing Crimson Desert. And yeah, there's some interesting stuff in there. I might have to give it a look-see at some point. I don't know if I'm into that style of game where it's just kind of like an open, not really guiding you at all, not
Mm,
really. It's more of like an open world action experience than like an RPG necessarily. So I don't know if I necessarily like that,
mhm.
but maybe eventually I'll give it a try. Um, This one's got a lot of names I have to read, but in the latest Ask the Developer interview on the Nintendo website, part of the Tomodachi Life Living the Dream development team answered questions about the game. Yeah, I can't stop bringing this game up because
It's life, as you said.
yeah, it's a lifestyle. The interview included Ryutaro Takahashi, programming directors Takayomi Uni, and Nonori Onishi, art director Daisuke Kageyama, and sound director Tori Minigishi. The interview is loaded with fun development stories that shine a light on the team's creative process, but a particularly juicy tidbit revealed that Living the Dream started development in 2017. So this game's been in
Wow.
development for 9 years.
Damn.
I just I just thought that was really interesting and incredible that they've been developing Tomodachi Life for 9 years. Because I gotta say one thing, they're not the best looking games. I'm gonna be honest. They do not push the graphical envelope. So I don't know what they were doing for 9 years, but it's got to be a lot of different scenarios and things that you can get in with the Mii's and stuff. So it seems pretty cool that they're putting so much effort and time into it. I think Nintendo and the development studio um, really believe in this game,
Mhm,
which gives me hope that it'll be as incredible as the first one was. Because
mhm.
you've never played Tomodachi Life, right?
No, I have not.
It is incredible. If you like Animal Crossing at all, it's not like Animal Crossing, but it's kind of the same vibes of like you're walking around talking to people and stuff.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's just very fun.
Is this do you know, is this Switch 1 exclusive, Switch 2 exclusive, or is it on both?
It's a Switch 2 exclusive.
So I wonder if part of the development, like, I don't know what the transfer process is, but maybe it was at some point when they got to the halfway point, like, hey, we're making a Switch 2. Here's the specs, and they're like, "Oh shit! All right, well, we got to
Gonna redo it.
So maybe that was part of it at least.
Oh, for sure. And they're like, oh, we got to put it on a game key card so that no one can actually own the game. I'm not mad about it. It's fine.
Of course not.
There was a Kickstarter campaign for a Cyberpunk trading card game. It's officially come to a close with nearly $27 million raised. That makes the upcoming Cyberpunk game the most successful trading card game project in Kickstarter's history by $11 million.
Well, yeah, no shit. They got a giant audience. Why do they even need a Kickstarter? Like,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they should just go right for it. Cyberpunk, because of 2077, is a massive IP and name now. In the
oh
same way
yeah,
that,
it's a license thing, isn't it? It's like The Witcher, how The Witcher was books before it was games. Cyberpunk's
yes, Cyberpunk's
okay,
a pen and paper
fair
RPG,
enough.
so it's its own separate thing. Yeah.
All right,
But it's a massive, because of 2077's success,
sure.
it is like flooded into the spotlight. The same way that Witcher was like a little book series that a lot of people read. I'm not gonna say little, but a lot of people read it. But then when the games came out, it really blew it up and
Yeah.
really made it a big thing. I don't think they would have made a TV show, for example, if it wasn't for the video games, things like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm gonna play a Cyberpunk trading card game. You best believe it. And then I have an article to read here. It's a little bit longer, so bear with me, but I thought it was interesting. This is on Game Rant, and it comes from Josh Kotz. Um, 4A Games has officially revealed Metro 2039,
Mm.
the next mainline entry for its long-running post-apocalyptic franchise and first core installment since 2019's Metro Exodus. Announced as a part of a dedicated showcase, the game confirms recent reports of a sequel while offering a detailed look at its story, tone, and direction. As the fourth major entry in the series, Metro 2039 continues the franchise's focus on a narrative-driven single-player experience rooted in survival, atmosphere, and immersive world design. Now, that's the backstory. That's not why I'm like interested. Why I didn't want to read this post. This is the part where I thought was interesting. However, the most significant aspect of Metro 2039's reveal is how dramatically developments changed in response to real-world events. According to 4A Games in an interview with Xbox Wire, Russia's invasion of Ukraine fundamentally altered both the studio's reality and the game itself, while executive producer John Bloch saying, "Everything we had planned for the next chapter of Metro changed." Much of the team has continued working while based in Ukraine or scattered across multiple countries, adapting to power outages, displacement, and the uncertainty of an active war. What is initially envisioned as a continuation of the series has since evolved into something that hits closer to home for the developers, directly influenced by the experiences of a team still closely tied to Ukraine and working under difficult conditions. The article goes on to talk about what changed, and I'll just give a brief synopsis. Basically, all of the factions in the previous Metro games have all teamed up under one umbrella of a fascist regime. So that is how it was impacted by real world events. I thought that was pretty interesting. Even the author of this was a separate article and story, but the author of the Metro series, because that was a book series as well before it turned into video games. He said that 2039 is going to be darker than any of the other games by a wide margin, which is insane because if you ever played a Metro game, they're pretty freaking bleak and
Mm.
dark. So, I mean, not just literally dark in the tunnels of the subway, but like tonally, they're very dark. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Sometimes politics does play a role in video game development. Um, that is all I have for news, though. So now we're gonna get to the next section, which is, hey man, what have you been playing? So, Brett, what have you been playing?
Hey man, I haven't played it yet, but Hades 2 is now on PlayStation 5. It is purchased, it is downloaded. I just have not played it. I was gonna play it last night, and then some things happened, and I was like, well, okay. So maybe this weekend. I joked about it before. I have played more of WWE 2K26 with the new Ringside Pass, aka DLC, being available. I just wanted to make a comment on the free pass that's available to everybody. I mentioned they were changing it and they were making all the DLC characters, granted this is the premium, and they're sticking it on the first thing, so great. Back to the free pass. I brought up how I was like, I wonder how they're going to treat future passes, because the first one had a lot of unlockable superstars that were like typical of past years to be unlockables of the base game already. So they were doing that in the first pass. And the second pass, I'm like, they're going to have a lot of free space to work with. Are they going to give us something cool? Is this going to be like interesting and kind of make it more appealing and attractive for people? At least with this first one, no. They just filled it with a lot of in-game currency, unfortunately. So that's a bit of a bummer. The 4 new superstars, I like, they're more nostalgia. It's not like, oh, I want to play as said individual. So all in all, the pack's kind of meh for me. You have these Borderlands crossovers. I get it why they did it, because the 2K connection and stuff like that. I think it's a fun and cool idea for especially how good these models look. But I don't think it's anything ever I'm going to play with type of thing. The only good thing of this battle pass and being post WrestleMania weekend either everybody's still on the hype train or they booked this match awfully. I'm going to hate myself when watching this back and either be so excited or so sad. But the newest sensation, Obafemi, they gave him an updated model with, he got, his model this year was like essentially copy paste from last year, and his hair was up. And it's a good looking model, but he never wears his dreads up anymore. They're all down. So that was a lot of backlash that people had. They now have a card, or a persona as they call it, which is pretty much like an alternate attire you can unlock for people. They have one available in the free pass. It's the very last level of the 40. So you have to you got to grind all that to get that. So that's like the
just to get his dreads down?
Just to get his dreads down. He's got an updated attire from like a more recent match he's had, but like his entrance is the same, the music's the same, the animation's all the same. It's just the attire and his hair. Which mostly that's what the personas are. There's a few rare personas like old CM Punk, old AJ Styles, where it's like retro versions of them where you'll unlock a new entrance animation, a new entrance music, new entrance trons, it looks totally different. And those are like the personas we really like and really care about. These alternate attire ones are like, it's appreciated, but it's like you could have given us something a little cooler here and there. So like happy that Oba's getting this and stuff, but yeah, they put it at the very end. It's like, oh, all right, thanks guys. Thanks. So yeah, those are the two quick ones I want to talk about. The main one I want to talk about seems very popular, as we joked about off of podcast via numbers on YouTube and TikTok. Thanks, guys. Mouse PI Detective for Hire. I've played. I streamed it this past Thursday for about 3 hours, and this was a game I was looking forward to. I believe I shouted it out in one of our future games segments, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's got that rubber hose, quirky animation style of like old school cartoons or Cuphead of more recent times. All black and white noir style. You're following this detective, Jack Peppa. Yeah, Jack Peppa detective. You're following him and trying to solve this case, at least the case I have right now, of a missing magician. And you're going around and you're finding out, just like every detective story, there's more shit going on than meets the eye. Some of it really dark, and I'm like, whoa, why is this here? But along with the dark and serious tone of some of the story, they do have a lot of goofy elements. There was the magician's assistant that we did run into, and she's permanently cut in half while this guy is gone. So you find her literally in two pieces. And then there was a stunt man we ran into who was like all like old kung fu martial arts movie of like how he was giving the story and giving the introduction to a skill set. So there's goofy elements there. I think this game has a lot of charm. In terms of its gameplay, it's a very Doom-like or boomer shooter. I would say the movement's very good. You can clearly see like bullets coming at you, so if you want to try and dodge those things to do better, that's very accessible to you. And it's fun seeing the mixture of the 2D art style in the three-dimensional world. I think it all looks very great together, and the team at Fumi Games and Playstack, I believe, did a fantastic job. There's another fun little mini-game element that I really enjoy, and it's about baseball. And I'm not a baseball fan, but there's this mini game. Throughout the game, you can collect and buy baseball cards, and they're either pitcher cards or they're batter cards. And in these mini games, you go into the bar and you gamble against this dame who's playing. I'm just getting right into character. You challenge this woman to the mini game, and it's 5 rounds. You get 5 turns, they get 5 turns. And in your 5 turns, you play as a batter, and then the next 5 turns, you play as a pitcher. And essentially, you're just using your cards to try and score as many runs as you can during your turn. And then in the pitcher phase, I may have flipped that earlier. I apologize. Batter first, you play, then you play as pitcher. And then as the pitcher stage, you're kind of playing all defense because you don't want them to score.
Yeah.
So where the cards come into play is they give you some dummy cards, but as you're collecting these baseball cards, there's different mouse baseball players that have different stats. If they're a batter, they have a batting stat, and then they have a speed stat. If they're a pitcher, they have a pitching stat, and they have what's called, I'm blanking on it, but it's like an eye indicator. And you have to strategize pretty much. Your numbers need to be higher than their numbers. So if you throw out a batter, their batting skill needs to be higher than their pitching skill. If so, you hit it, and based on their speed, they'll move that many bases. If their pitching stat is higher, you get struck out. If you tie, you go to a coin flip, and then you proceed from there. Same thing on the opposite end. If you're playing the pitcher, you want to outpitch them, blah, 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 yada, yada. It's very simple in concept, but I don't know. I kind of find it like very fun and amusing, and just like that strategy element, because you're both playing blind. You see them play 1 to 2 cards, one being the player. The second card can be a buff to a certain stat of theirs. So you have to kind of strategize of like, okay, did they play a good card? Did they play a bad card? Am I going to send out my best guy immediately, or am I going to hold off on it?
Right.
So it's a nice little break from just going pew 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 on the rats and the mice and the shrews that you're defeating here.
Yeah, which is why in the stream I jokingly referred to it as Mouse Gwent.
Yes.
And it reminds me of that because in Gwent, at least in the Witcher 3 version, not the standalone Gwent version, which I never played, they changed the rules and it made me mad. In The Witcher 3, it's like, do you stack all your best cards in the first round, or do you save them for rounds 2 and 3? So I kind of got that vibe from the mouse game, where it's like, do you put out your level 9 pitcher right now, or do you hold back, waiting for them to get a stronger batter up and stuff? So that's what reminded me of that. But also, I will say, in boomer shooters, even the current Doom I'll include in that, the Dark Ages and stuff, I am not the biggest fan, or I've not been the most successful about finding secrets in the level. That's not my forte. My forte is the pew pews. So the fact that you can find cards to play this card game in there would actually super incentivize me, because when I played The Witcher 3, I had to have every single Gwent card. I had to collect all of them. And there was one card that I couldn't get because I did a quest line and I progressed this guy's quest line too far where I couldn't play Gwent with him anime, and I restarted the game. Because that's how important it was for me to get all the Gwent cards. I did that on Switch, so I didn't get an achievement for it, like a Steam achievement, but man, that was a great journey getting every single Gwent card. So I feel like in Mouse PI Detective for Hire, I would get every baseball card. Like, I would scour these levels, and that's really cool that they did that, because now I'm playing a boomer shooter in the way that a lot of people play it, but that I don't. And you get more enjoyment out of it, I feel like, if you are like constantly searching for secrets and stuff. So that's a really cool addition to the game. I'm really glad they added that in there.
Yeah, they got a lot of different collectibles. The playing cards are pretty much the only one that come into like a gameplay mechanic. So you have your playing cards, you have newspapers that you can collect, which kind of give you just backstory of like the world and world building. And then there's a comic strip, which I believe kind of gives like an origin story to Jack Pepper, or at least a different case that he has solved. You can find each of them in the levels that you go into. As a platinum chaser, where I'm like, I'm gonna platinum this game, I have looked up at least the roadmap for it. Unfortunately, there's no replaying levels once you beat it. It seems like it start from scratch, so that's a bit of a bummer. But also the game does put items in the store, so if you go to the store after a mission, cards and articles that you missed will be there for purchase. So if you do miss something, you can buy it later. So that's at least nice.
That's cool.
If you do have the resources for it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I don't know if I'll keep streaming it or if I'll just play it on my own. That's something I'm trying to decide. I feel like I've been in this weird place where I start a lot of games and I haven't beat them, and I'm like, and it's getting to me right now.
Yeah.
And while I love streaming and enjoy that, obviously that just elongates the process. Excuse me, Artemis. Oh, you just kicked the microphone. It just elongates the process and the time that I can beat these and see these games to the end. So if I keep tacking on like, oh, we started this one, started this one, started this one, it's not going to help the problem. So, but highly recommend it if you guys want a very Great art stylized game. And you're looking for something that's a Doom-like, but obviously, Doom's going to be waiting a little bit for some stuff. So highly recommend it. It's very, very fun.
Very cool. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out, especially because it's only $30, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty good bargain for the amount of content that I've seen in the game so far.
Yeah, I think the story also is like 15 to 20 hours, at least from what I've seen people clocking in at. So decent amount of bang for your buck.
Yeah. That's longer than Pragmata, which is $60. Another game we haven't talked about. But yeah, is that all you've been playing so far?
That is all I've been playing. What do you got?
Nice. Yeah, I definitely want to check out Mouse PI. Detective for Hire. Everybody else should check it out too. It's really cool. I've been playing one game and one game only, and that is Ball X. No, I'm just kidding. Boo. Eventually. No, I've been playing Borderlands 4, the DLC. We were talking about the DLC on a previous podcast and how people were like, you can beat it in 2 hours. It doesn't have a lot of content. I fired it up. I will say it is longer than 2 hours because that's all I've been playing this week. And though I haven't had a lot of time to play this week because of work and my grandmother's visiting and stuff, it's been longer than 2 hours. I've probably put like 5 or 6 hours into it and I'm not done yet. I think I'm maybe 75% of the way through. It's kind of hard to tell. The storyline's not great though, I will say. It's pretty by the numbers. Ellie finds like a magic stone and her father talks through it, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, I have been enjoying it. There are side quests and stuff. There are bounties. There's a bounty board in the so in Love, Guns, and Tentacles, you visit a hotel for the wedding, and that's where you find Mancubus, the guy who's voiced by
Hansen. Yep.
Ego Raptor.
Yeah.
Aaron Hansen. So now in this one, he's in a pocket dimension. He has a floating hotel that's just like in a pocket dimension, so you have to go to it. But in that pocket dimension hotel, you can get bounties and other quests and stuff. So I have been doing all the side quests and things. It's really cool. You can also start a character at level 13 and immediately jump into the DLC. Alternatively, you can progress the story until you rescue the scientist lady, which I think we got to.
Yeah.
In our playthrough. So it's not super long into the game, so you can kind of do that. If you want to start from scratch, I decided to start with the level 13 character. I jumped in with Cash, the new DLC character. I wanted to try him out. And I've been trying out his tree. It's very cool. He pulls up a deck of cards and he has 2 cards, and then you throw one of the 2 cards at people, and it does elemental damage. So it's like different. Like this one will be fire, this one will be electricity. So you can kind of determine. You can upgrade those cards to have different abilities in your tree or have more cards to throw. Additionally, his main mechanic is a luck-based mechanic where every time you kill a character, you have a chance to increase your little luck meter in the bottom. It goes up to 10. And the higher it is, the more stats you'll have for certain things. Like for me, the higher the luck stat is, the more damage my cards will do. So I want to kill NPCs. I want to kill enemies until I get that to about 10, and then I'll pop the ult and do his card throwing and stuff, which is really cool. I tried another one of his abilities, which is he just pulls out 2 6-shooters, and he goes into third person mode, and it kind of like auto locks onto enemies, and he just like Clint Eastwood's them. But I didn't really like that very much. I thought it was kind of a little wonky, a little weird. So I didn't really appreciate the third person. I'm not really a big fan of going into the third person in these games. I know you can with Rafa, when he pulls out his blades. But I didn't really like doing that either. So I don't know. I like sticking in first person. I like the cards mechanics more. I haven't tried out his third ability, but yeah, I also jumped into my original Vex character, my level 50, and they've raised the level cap to level 60, like I reported on previously. And I gotta say, it's a bit of a bummer because I farmed the Timekeeper for a specific SMG because it's the best elemental SMG in the game, and now that SMG is worthless because I'm level 51 now, and it's it's underpowered. I'd have to go farm another one, so I'll have to get to level 60 and then go farm the timekeeper again. And it took a long time. It took me probably like 3 hours of fighting the timekeeper over and over again to get that SMG. And I don't want to do that again. There's also a character. My favorite gun in the game is not that SMG, is a legendary shotgun. I forget what it's called. It's like vomiting rainbows or something. And it shoots like 7 stars with rainbow trails out, and it does every single element of damage.
Oh, cool.
So nobody's resistant to it, and Vex has a bunch of like elemental damage buffs.
Hmm.
So just doing that to enemies just melts. And anytime I'm in like a bad fight, I'm like, all right, I'm whipping out the shotgun, and I just melt anything with it. It's really fun. It's cool too because it has the stars have like some weight to it, so there's like an arc to the rainbow. So it's a really fascinating gun. I love that gun. But I'd have to farm that gun all over again too to get a level 61 because level 51 no longer matters. So that was kind of a bummer. I did jump into the DLC with Vex though. Oh, before I did that, I actually went back. I haven't played Borderlands 4 in a long time, so I actually went back and played the Mercenaries Day content, which they had, which is basically Christmas in the Borderlands universe, and yeah, it was actually quite extensive. There was actually a long quest. It took me like maybe an hour and a half to complete the Mercenaries Day stuff, which is just free content they threw into the game.
Hmm.
I thought it was really cool. It also had more interactions with Rush, who I love. He's one of my favorite. He's like my favorite new character for Borderlands 4. Um, so yeah, overall, just really enjoying the DLC. Really been enjoying playing as Cash. I can't wait to play the rest of the game as Cash because he's very fun. I almost wish I started as a level 0 Cash
Mm.
and went through, but I've also played the beginning of the game so many times. So
Yeah.
kind of glad that I started at the level 13 at the same time. I'm kind of mixed on it. I'm like, I'd love to, grow his tree from the beginning, but yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I When I played as Vex though, I immediately was like, oh yeah, this is like my favorite. This is definitely my favorite. Cash is the second favorite actually. He's climbed up to. I actually like him more than Harlow now. So Cash is my second favorite, but Vex will always be number one. Her cat's name is Trouble. I can never remember the name of the cat. Her cat's name is Trouble, and I just love having the Trouble tree where you can just like sick the panther on people and jaws aggro, does a bunch of stuff that just really helps you out. Vex is just so incredibly cool. And I want to make 2 other Vex characters, but I don't have time to play Borderlands 4 for the rest of my life because I've already played it for checking Steam. 254.5 hours. So maybe I'll lay off on getting more Vex characters. Um, I will say the community for Borderlands 4, like I was looking at the reviews of the DLC before I bought it, because it was expensive. It was $30. I feel like I don't know if it's worth it or not, but the new character is like I said, that's a lot of if you play through the whole game with the new character, that's another fucking 80 hours. Um, but yeah, a lot of the people were just like, just don't play Borderlands 4 in 2026, and all this stuff, and they're like really negative on it. And I gotta say, I really like the game. I don't know why everybody hates Borderlands 4. It's my favorite Borderlands game. I'm gonna say it. I like it more than Borderlands 2.
Mm.
I like it more than the Borderlands the pre-sequel. I love Borderlands 4, so I'm gonna keep playing it. I don't care that people are hating on it. I think it's a really fun game, and they've really refined the mechanics of the Borderlands universe. Um,
Hmm. That's cool. Is there a second character that's coming as well? Not in this
Yes, there's going to be
DLC,
a
but
second DLC. There's going to be like another story pack and another character. They have not revealed that character yet. I'm sorry for the
gotcha.
pause. I got a
No,
text and I
you're
was like,
fine.
what?
Yeah, yeah. I was just, I just figured, ask a question here. That's good. I'm glad you're liking Cash and that you're getting a lot out of it. Was it part of what I said where it was potentially people golden pathing it and there's side stuff that you could do that's filling the time?
I think so, yeah, because a lot of the side quests take quite a lengthy amount of time. There's one where I had to there was like gay lovers and his body was like blown up and you have to
Mm.
like go find body parts for him, and that quest took me a long time. It took me like maybe 45 minutes to find this man's body parts all over. And it's funny because the not to spoil anything, it's a side quest and it's very early on, but they're bickering. There's the ghost of the dead guy and he's bickering with the real guy. The the alive guy can't hear the ghost,
Mm.
but you can. So the alive guy will be like, make sure you get his body parts back, and the ghost will be like, no, make my hands bigger. I want big meaty hands. And he's like, no, I want his hands just the way they were. They're perfect. And so you have to decide, make a lot of
Oh,
choices and
okay.
stuff. So
Hmm.
it was really interesting though. And there's another quest about like a cult and stuff. A lot, some pretty interesting side quests, I will say. And they took a decent amount of time. So I think it was absolutely people golden pathing it and just doing the main storyline. And like, oh, I beat it in 2 hours. It's like, well, yeah, you can do that, but like, you want to explore the whole map area.
Sure.
Also, the new map area is cheeks though. I really can't navigate it very easily, which sucks. I've gotten lost a couple of times, which is not fun, and the stupid robot pathing doesn't always work the way you want it to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that's been a struggle. I will say the new map area. If you're like, oh, I want a new map, a new open world area for Borderlands, and that's why you're gonna get the DLC. Don't do it for that. Get it for the new character. Get it for some of the side quests and the main quest itself. But don't get it for in the level cap. But don't get it for the new area because the new area not very good.
Hmm. All right.
Yeah, that's really all I've been playing this week. So now we get to the fun mystery section, which when we started this, it was not a mystery section. When we started this, it was a teaching section. It
Mm.
was a learning section. And so I'm gonna go back to the roots and I'm gonna learn you up on some stuff. As we say here in North Kakalaki.
Hmm.
I'm gonna learn you good. So you've played Space Marine too.
Yes.
Yeah, you know a little bit about the Warhammer 40,000 universe.
Totally.
Um, yeah. So, the Space Marines exist, and there was the Horus Heresy. I always go back to the Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
Before the Horus Heresy, humanity spread across like thousands of planets. Like literally hundreds of thousands of planets. So there's different kinds of planets and things. Um, so yeah. Sorry, I keep getting texts. I need to put my phone away.
You're fine.
Anyway, putting the phone away. Yeah. So humanity spread across like thousands of planets, hundreds of planets, and so the Space Marines cannot be everywhere all at once. The Space Marines are like the elites that you bring in after shit has hit the fan.
Yeah.
The people that hold the line in the meantime are called the Imperial Guard. They're actually called the Astra Militarum now, but when I played in 2010 in 5th edition, they were called the Imperial Guard. So that's what they're going to be called for me. They're the primary. I've got some stuff to read, but I'll try and summarize it so it's not as boring as me reading stuff. But they are the primary military force of humanity in Warhammer 40k. Unlike the elite factions such as the Space Marines, the Imperial Guard is made up of ordinary human soldiers, drawn from countless worlds across the Imperium. They are not genetically enhanced or superhuman, just regular people trained, armed, and sent to fight in one of the most hostile universes imaginable. What makes the Imperial Guard significant is its sheer scale. It is one of the largest military forces in fiction, numbering in the trillions. Entire planets are dedicated to supplying troops, known as regiments. Each regiment reflects its culture and its homeworld. For example, some specialize in trench warfare, others in jungle combat, and some in strict, highly disciplined formations. This diversity allows the Astra Militarum to fight effectively in nearly any environment. So, yeah, in the reason they do that, I think, is because in the model side of things, when they're selling models, they're basically the Imperial Guard are like the army guys. Like if you want to paint little army guys, that's what you have the Imperial Guard. And so you have some people that look like the United States military, some people that look like the Russian military, some people that look like 80s action heroes, like jungle heroes and stuff. They're the Catechans. They're pretty great. They live on a death world, so they're all like jungle fighters. They all look like a Rambo. There's all these little factions, and so I think that's why they have this little fluff, because a lot of times the fluff follows the models. Like they make the models and then they're like, oh, we gotta let's justify this. So they justify this by saying that they come from all different worlds and they all have their own like little specialty. But it's really just so that you can make your own army guys the way you want to. If you wanted to make like a Russian themed army, you can do that. The standard weapon issued to most soldiers, called guardsmen, is the las gun. It is not the most powerful weapon in the setting, but it is reliable, easy to maintain, and can be recharged rather than relying on traditional ammunition. While individually weaker than many enemy weapons, the las gun becomes heavily effective through massed fire, hundreds and thousands of soldiers firing in unison. So that's what they do. They do volleys of them. It's almost like rifles, like gunpowder rifles. Like they fire in volleys. That's how they do the las gun stuff. So it's pretty cool, and that actually works on the tabletop in the game as well, where they put that in there where like you fire in these volleys, which they're not very strong. From what I remember, the las gun is a strength 3 weapon, and most things are toughness 4, which means you have to roll a 5 or a 6 to actually damage the anybody. But you would get abilities like a commander would be there, and he'd be like fire, 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 and you would just like shoot las gun after las gun after las gun, and it's like eventually you're gonna roll a 5 or a 6,
Hmm.
so you're gonna do some damage. It just takes a lot of shots. So it's pretty cool that that's on the tabletop and in the fluff. But additionally to the las gun not very good. Their weapons not very good, but they have a lot of tanks and stuff. I'm not even gonna read this. They have tanks. Their main tank is the Lehman Russ, which is actually named after the Primarch for the Space Wolves, and the Lehman Russ is just this big fucking tank, and it shoots massive volleys and stuff. And they have all these other human tanks. They have a tank called the Bane Blade, which is just like the size of like 6 tanks altogether. They have like planes and stuff. So while they're not as strong as the Space Marines, they make up for it in armored artillery with like yeah, I guess artillery fire and tanks and stuff like that. So planes, everything like that. So it's pretty cool. Um, Discipline is a critical part of the Imperial Guard structure. This is enforced by officers and more harshly by commissars. Commissars are political officers responsible for maintaining morale and loyalty to the Imperium. They have the authority to execute soldiers who show cowardice or disobedience. While extreme, this reflects the brutal reality of the setting, where fear and chaos can quickly lead to catastrophic defeat. So, a lot of times people say they fear the Commissar more than they fear the aliens. Imagine the Imperial Guard fighting the Tyranids, for example. I talked about the Tyranids in this podcast. There's all these bug
Yeah.
velociraptors running at you, and if you run away, the Commissar will just shoot you in the back. So that's how they keep them in line. Additionally, they don't mention this in this thing that I pulled up, but additionally, uh, there are a lot of prison regiments as well.
Hmm.
Like you might be sentenced to become a guardsman, for a crime. So in that sense, they'll have like 2 commissars there, and they'll really be watching you and making sure that you're trying to fight correctly for the Imperium. But if you do, you manage to survive, you might get your sentence removed.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Um, Let's see. The Imperial Guard often fights enemies stronger than themselves, including aliens, heretics, and supernatural forces. Because of this, their casualty rates are extremely high. It is not uncommon for entire regiments to be wiped out in a single campaign. Despite this, they continue to fight due to the combination of duty, indoctrination, faith in the Emperor, and the necessary of survival. And the last little bit here is at its core, the Imperial Guard represents humanity's resilience. They are not the strongest or most advanced force, but they endure through numbers, coordination, and determination. The role is to hold the line, absorb the brunt of the fighting, and ensure the Imperium continues to survive in a galaxy filled with constant war. So, yeah, pretty much how it works in the setting is like I'll just keep using the Tyranids because we went over that. Tyranid invasion happens. The Imperial Guard does whatever they can with tanks and their little las guns to hold the line, and they phone the Space Marines and they pray to God they get there in time.
Hmm.
And then the Space Marines will drop down and drop pods and stuff, and the Space Marines will help them like actually win and wipe out shit. But their goal is to just hold the line until the Space Marines get there, basically.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, I've always I've always wanted a book from the perspective of like someone who got drafted into the guard for a Tyranid invasion. I always thought that would be cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, just that perspective, that POI is very, very cool. POI?
Yeah,
That's
I was
point of
gonna
interest.
ask if there's any media of like games or anything from their perspective, or you play as a normie, but seems not.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's no like Tau Fire Warrior for the Imperial Guardsmen. That would be cool though. I know in Warhammer 40K Darktide you can play as a guardsman. You play as a veteran guardsman.
Okay.
And that's pretty cool because you have the las gun there, and you can recharge the energy cells just like in the setting, although it's very slow to recharge. So,
Hmm.
pretty cool stuff. My friend growing up was a big Imperial Guardsman fan, so we had these huge tanks and regiments and planes and stuff, and it was really cool to play against. And then I'll come in with like 6 Space Marines and just absolutely wipe them out.
Mm.
It's basically like, don't get to me, don't get to me, don't get to me. And then when you get there, it's like you're done. It's
Yeah.
over. But yeah, that's the Imperial. Do you have any questions about the Imperial Guard? That's pretty comprehensive, I suppose.
No, I think that makes sense. This may be a dumb question because the Space Marines are the genetically altered folk. Has
Yeah.
and that's from birth, right?
I don't know if it's from birth or not
Okay.
necessarily. I don't remember.
So I was wondering if there's any generic normie, like if they kicked ass enough or impressed enough, could they be made into a Space Marine, or is that not a thing?
Let me check. Because that is a cool question.
Hmm.
That would be cool if a guy just like was so good.
Might be too class-based of an
Pretty much
ecosystem.
no.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they have to be younger. Age matters a lot.
Okay.
These young adolescents that they grab. Also, they implant them with the gene seed
Hmm.
of the Primarchs, and the gene seed when they put them in there, it's got like a really high mortality rate, but it like only attaches to like younger people, I guess.
Okay, so how do they? What's the selection process for that? Is it like these are our royal babies that will plug in?
But sometimes they're orphans and stuff. Like they
Okay.
just grab anybody.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
they
that's
just grab
fodder.
anybody who
Yeah,
can
they don't.
survive.
They don't give a shit about the orphans. They're like, oh, gotta feed them or pump them with a gene.
Yeah, put the gene seed in him, and we'll see if he survives. But
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it'll be like scrappy youth who are fighting and stuff like that. Some
Gotcha.
fierce people. So, but yeah, pretty cool. So Imperial Guardsman, yeah, once you're a Guardsman, you can't really become a Space Marine,
Okay.
but you can become you know,
You can
higher
move
up
up the ranks. You just can't
captains and
be,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
jacked
and
out
also
tall
there are
guy.
some books about guardsmen and stuff. There's a lot of guardsmen books. There's
Nice.
one particularly about a commissar. Um, I forget his name, but he's like the commissars are supposed to be these super serious. They shoot you in the back guys, but
Right.
he's like kind of silly, and he doesn't want to shoot anybody. And it's a very funny book series. Uh, kind of comedy in that setting, which is weird for a comedy in the grim dark
Yeah.
setting of the far future. But yeah, that's the Astra Militarum. Or the Imperial Guard, I should say. Oh my gosh, I actually said Astra Militarum. I'm so cooked. I'm donezo. Uh, what game are you looking forward to in the future though? We'll go to the last segment of the podcast here.
Sure. So this one's part of the backlog. I did play a decent amount of it, but its difficulty got to me a little bit. However, the selling point is I don't know if it's even game mechanics. It's how the dev decided to add the mechanics to the game. The game I'd like to shout out this week is a game called Tunic. Tunic is a cute little Zelda-esque Metroidvania, I guess you could say. You're a little fox, and you're wearing a
Yeah.
tunic. But you just are thrown into the world, and you have no idea what the fuck you're doing as this little fox. And you slowly learn, like, oh, well, I gotta defeat monsters. I gotta do this. But it's not your typical game where, most games do this, where they throw you into it, and then it's like, okay, you take 10 steps. Oh, okay. You do hold left stick to move. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Okay, move another 20 steps. Move right stick to look around. Yeah, I've already been doing that. Move 20 more steps. Pick up the stick, and now you can fight with it. They're just like, here you go. And they give you an in-game, like, old school instruction booklet, but it's all torn to shit. And you gradually find pieces of the instruction booklet, but it might not be anything you can do at the time. And there's no like words on it, if I remember. It's all just imagery, and you have to slowly try and use your brain to figure out, oh, this image is saying I can do this skill or this ability by doing this action, hitting this button, whatever it is. And you have to learn the game mechanics through this discovery of like the instruction booklet, and you're referencing it and stuff like that. And I thought that was always a really cool idea. I mentioned the difficulty of it did get me a little bit. It's not like a Souls like that difficulty, but it is certainly closer to that than, I don't know, the normal experience, if we want to say that. So I just had gotten to a point where I was like, I'm dying a lot. I wonder if I hopped back into it, because I have beaten, oh no, I'm going to forget the name of the game, but it was another beautiful indie title. You were a crow, and it was a very similar one. Sugar Honey Iced Tea. But I beat that one, and me being me and the trophy hunter, I had heard from some friends at 61 Indie who were talking about the game, and they're like, oh, there's a trophy to beat it with the broom, which is like the weakest weapon. So knowing that, I did it going into it, so I beat it with that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so now that I've beaten that, which is a similar vein, I wonder if going back to Tunic, I'd be able to handle the difficulty a little bit better. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Tunic. It's a fantastic game. It's got a great art style to it. And yeah, like I said, it's just mainly that selling point of how the game mechanics are given to the player, and that kind of discovery is just a lot of fun. So shout out to Tunic.
Nice. I'm excited for a game that I played the demo of, and it was called The Last Spell. They do not have a demo of it anymore. I think it was a Next Fest demo way back in the day. But defend the last bastion of humanity with your squad of heroes, exterminate fiendish monsters with magic and brute force by night, and rebuild your battered city defenses by day in this tactical RPG with roguelike mechanics. You know why I'm excited about it or interested in it. It's a tactical RPG. However, it's kind of almost like a tower defense in a way. There's no like path like with the tower defense game, but you have basically like a core in the middle, like a castle with some walls that you can build up and stuff. And you want to, and enemies will come from all four sides, and you're trying to wipe them out with spells and stuff like that as much as you can. It's really cool. You only get like 3 or 4 dudes to do that as well. That are like inside. That are like trying to defend the walls. So it's very hard. It's brutally difficult when I played the demo. But I'm kind of up for a brutally difficult tactical RPG at the moment. I feel like I could tackle it more. The game's been out for longer, so I think they've balanced it a little bit better and stuff. And the roguelike elements really intrigue me because every run is different, and you can kind of keep upgrading your palace in different ways and stuff. So,
Very
uh,
cool.
yeah, really cool game. I'm really excited to give it a try. It is currently on sale from $24.99 to $7.49. So if you're on Steam, maybe give it a look see for $7.
Nice. I am trying to find this Crow game. I finally just was like, oh yeah, the PlayStation app. I can look at my trophies. Unfortunately, there's not a way to fucking filter out what ones I got the platinum on. So I'm currently scrolling through my recently played list because it's another fantastic indie I want to give a shout to since we brought it up here. Scrolling. Of course, it was a few years ago, so there's some depth in there. Oh, hey, Chicory, R.I.P. Neon White. No, I talked about that last week. There's Stray. Death's Door. Death's Door is a fantastic
Yes,
game.
sir. Okay.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. Yeah, Death's Door is similar to Tunic of gameplay and style. So I guess 2 for 1 for me this week. Both are great, but I want to play Tunic.
Fantastic. And I'm going to put this addendum at the end of the podcast. I didn't put it in the what we were playing section, but I was able to shout out to Lost Ark Arcade in Greensboro, North Carolina. I went there and I played Darkstalkers for the first time on an arcade cabinet. And man, that game is buttery smooth. That game is super fun. I play as a fishman. I've never played Dark Souls before, or Darkstalkers before. So I didn't real. All I knew was Morrigan from
Yeah, I was gonna
Marvel
say you
vs.
played a
Capcom.
fish and you didn't play as either of the 2 horny ladies, the succubus
Yeah.
or Felicia the cat, or you could see everything.
Yeah, both of those were very horny. However, I didn't realize there's a whole cast. There's like 15 characters, and they're all like monsters and stuff.
Yeah, it's very
So I
cool.
don't know why they put only the horny ones in Marvel vs. Capcom,
Well,
but
is Anakaris in there or Anakaris, the mummy guy? I think he's a
I
dark
don't
stalker.
know. Maybe
Because he's in Marvel too.
potentially.
He goes like woo with his little hands. It's so annoying.
That's true. But yeah, I played as a fish man who's like a creature from the Black Lagoon type situation,
hmm
and I had just the most fun playing that game. I also got to play Samurai Showdown 4, which I've never played before, on an arcade cabinet. Very cool. And I played Golden Axe on the original Golden Axe arcade cabinet, which was just absolutely sick. So shout out to that
Sweet.
that arcade. So that I'm gonna include that into what we've been playing. That's why I'm playing those games too.
Nice.
But yeah, that's gonna conclude the podcast. Um, Thank you everybody for listening. As always, if you watch it for 5 seconds, for 5 minutes, we really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe and do all that stuff because it helps us out. And leave a comment below if you have any comments. We will read them. I guarantee you, we'll read your comments. And if you have a topic idea or a question or anything, we'll definitely get back to it and answer it. So on any future podcast episodes. But thank you so much for listening. You guys are the best, and we will see you soon. Bye.